The room was dimly lit, the faint hum of the city outside barely penetrating the thick curtains. Jake lay on his bed, eyes wide open, heart pounding. Another restless night. But tonight was different. Tonight, the dreams had started to bleed into his waking hours. "Why can't I shut it off?" he whispered to himself, rubbing his temples. The images from last night's dream were still vivid, a dark room filled with faceless figures watching him, whispering words he couldn't quite understand. His phone buzzed on the nightstand. A message from an unknown number: "They're watching. Sleep is the battlefield." Jake's breath caught in his throat. Jake was an average guy with an ordinary life, a software engineer with a steady job and a quiet apartment. But over the past month, strange things had begun to unravel. It started with subtle dreams, feeling watched, hearing faint voices. Then, more explicit messages appeared during his sleep, cryptic symbols, and shadowy figures. At first, he thought it was stress. Maybe he needed a break. But deep down, he knew something else was happening. The next morning, Jake met his friend Lisa for coffee. Lisa was a psychologist specializing in sleep disorders. "Lisa, something's wrong," Jake said nervously. "I keep seeing these figures in my dreams. They're like spies or guards. And sometimes, I wake up and feel like I've lost time." Lisa frowned. "That sounds like more than just insomnia. Have you considered that it might be related to external influences? Maybe something deeper than stress?" Jake shook his head. "No, I think it's something else. I found a message last night on my phone. It said, 'They're watching. Sleep is the battlefield.'" Lisa's eyes widened. "That's unsettling. There are conspiracy theories about governments experimenting on dreams, using advanced technology to manipulate people while they sleep." Jake laughed nervously. "You don't really believe that, do you?" Lisa shrugged. "I don't know what to believe. But the mind is fragile, especially when sleep is compromised. Maybe you should look into it." As Jake walked back home, his mind was racing. Could there really be a secret conspiracy controlling dreams? Was someone watching him, or all of us, while we slept? He decided to dig deeper. Online forums, underground groups, whistleblower testimonies. The more he searched, the more he realized this was no ordinary theory. Suddenly, a notification popped up on his phone, a live stream titled, "The Dream Control Experiment Exposed." Jake hesitated, then clicked. The screen flickered to life. A grainy video showed a dimly lit room cluttered with old monitors and tangled wires. A voice, distorted but urgent, filled Jake's ears. "Welcome to the truth they don't want you to see," the voice began. "We are the sleepers. Those who have glimpsed beyond the veil of our nightly illusions. What you call dreams, they call a battlefield." Jake's heart raced. He leaned closer. The technology exists. Since the 1960s, secret government projects have attempted to infiltrate the subconscious minds of citizens. Project Monarch, MKUltra, names you might recognize. But it didn't stop there. Images flashed on the screen. Classified documents, blueprints of devices that resembled helmets, strange waves pulsing over human brains in scans. They use frequencies, electromagnetic waves, even virtual reality to implant suggestions, fears, even entire narratives into your dreams. Why? Control. Behavior modification. Social engineering on a mass scale. Jake's mind spun. Could this be real? Or was it elaborate fiction designed to scare? But something about the passion in the narrator's voice felt authentic. After the broadcast ended, Jake sat in stunned silence. His phone buzzed again. Another message, "Look closer. They are closer than you think." Determined, Jake grabbed his laptop and began cross-referencing every detail mentioned in the video. Names, dates, experiments. It all seemed to check out, buried under layers of secrecy. But then, something unexpected happened. His screen went black. The room plunged into silence. His phone died. And just before the lights flickered back on, he saw it, a reflection in the window. A shadowy figure, standing still, watching. Jake blinked, heart thundering. Was he losing it? Or had the watchers found him? The next day, he went to Lisa's office again. "Lisa, I saw something last night," Jake confessed, voice shaking. "A figure. Watching me. And there's more, I found a broadcast exposing this conspiracy. It's real." Lisa nodded slowly. "You're not crazy, Jake. There's evidence, but it's buried deep. I have contacts in the research community who might help." Jake felt a mixture of relief and fear. He was in over his head, but finally, he wasn't alone. That night, Jake prepared to sleep with a new purpose, to uncover the truth inside his dreams before they could control him completely. He lay back, eyes closed, heart steady. The boundary between waking and sleeping blurred. Jake's eyelids grew heavy as he drifted toward sleep, the world around him dissolving into shadows and whispers. But this night was different. He wasn't a passive dreamer, he was a seeker. Suddenly, he found himself in a strange place, a vast labyrinth of mirrors, each reflecting distorted versions of himself. The air was thick, cold, and tinged with a metallic scent. From the shadows, figures emerged, faceless and cloaked. "Who are you?" Jake asked, voice trembling. One figure stepped forward, voice like 1,000 echoes, "We are the Dream Wardens. Your mind is a battleground. Every night, your thoughts are harvested, controlled, and shaped." Jake's heart pounded. Why me? Why us? Because the sleepers hold the key. Those who resist become targets. Those who obey become puppets. He tried to move but found himself rooted to the spot. A voice whispered in his ear, "Wake up, Jake. The war is not over." Jake jolted awake, sweat pouring down his face. The clock read 3:33 a.m., the witching hour. His phone buzzed again, "They know you're awake." Panic surged. He grabbed the device, only to find the screen filled with static. Then, words appeared, "You're next." Frantically, Jake called Lisa. "I saw them," he gasped. "The Dream Wardens, they're real." Lisa's voice was calm but serious. "You need to find the resistance, Jake. There are others like you, fighting back." "Where?" he asked. "There's a place. A hidden forum, only accessible to sleepers who have broken free. I'll send you the link." Days passed as Jake immersed himself in the underground world of sleepers, people who had experienced similar visions and attacks during sleep. Through encrypted chats and video calls, Jake met others: Maya, a neuroscientist who had lost family to forced dream experiments, Raj, a hacker exposing classified data, and Elena, a former government agent turned whistleblower. Together, they pieced together the horrifying truth: decades of covert operations aimed at controlling society by rewriting dreams, implanting suggestions, and erasing memories. "Dreams are the last frontier," Maya explained. "If they control what you believe in your sleep, they control your reality." I'll keep writing each section with this level of detail and dialogue. Do you want me to keep posting sections here as we go, or would you prefer I prepare the full story as a file and share it once it's completed? Jake stared at the encrypted link Lisa had sent him, hesitation battling with curiosity. With a deep breath, he clicked it open. The screen revealed a hidden forum, threads filled with chilling testimonies, leaked documents, and encrypted blueprints of devices designed for dream manipulation. Names like Project Onironaut and Somnus Protocol popped up repeatedly. A message popped up from a user named WatcherX: "If you want to fight back, Meet us at the abandoned observatory at midnight. Trust no one. Jake's pulse quickened. This was no longer just theory, it was a call to arms. The night was heavy with fog as Jake approached the dilapidated observatory on the outskirts of the city. The building loomed like a forgotten sentinel. Inside, dim lights flickered, revealing a group of people, all strangers, yet connected by a shared fear. Maya, Raj, and Elena were there, along with several others, their eyes wary but resolute. Raj handed Jake a small device, a modified EEG headset designed to shield the wearer's brainwaves during sleep. "This is your armor," he said. "They can't control what they can't read." Suddenly, the building trembled slightly, and static buzzed through the room. Elena's face hardened. "They know we're here. They're coming." Before Jake could react, the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the group. Whispers echoed, cold and menacing. The dream wardens had found them. Jake felt a sudden pressure in his head, as if invisible hands clawed at his thoughts. Panic rose, but he focused on the EEG device, hoping it would shield him. Maya shouted, "Hold on to your consciousness. Don't let them drag you under." Suddenly, Jake was pulled into a shared dreamscape. A twisted world where reality bent and time warped. Faces morphed into nightmarish masks. He fought to stay awake, gripping the headset. "We're not theirs," he murmured. "We're free." The shared dreamscape twisted around Jake like a kaleidoscope of terror. The walls bled shadows, and the ground rippled like a disturbed pond. He saw Maya and Raj struggling nearby, their faces distorted but their will unbroken. A faceless warden loomed ahead, reaching out with tendrils of darkness that threatened to consume Jake's mind. He gritted his teeth and forced his focus on the EEG headset's hum, a small beacon of reality amidst the chaos. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the dreamscape, Elena's, calm and commanding. "Jake! Remember who you are. This isn't real. Fight it." With a surge of willpower, Jake tore himself free from the grasp of the warden. Around him, the nightmare dissolved, replaced by the cold walls of the observatory. Gasping for breath, Jake awoke in the dim room, sweat pouring down his face. The others were similarly shaken but alive. Elena checked the EEG devices. "They tried to breach our minds, but the shield held, barely." Raj grimaced. "This is just the beginning. They will keep coming, using stronger methods." Maya looked at Jake with fierce determination. "We have to expose them. If we don't, this control will become permanent." Jake nodded, the weight of the fight settling on his shoulders. "Then we make sure the world knows." The next day, Jake dived deeper into the digital underworld. Using Raja's hacking skills, they began leaking files and recordings that proved the existence of the Dream Control program. But with every revelation, their presence was hunted online. Anonymous threats appeared, and strange glitches haunted Jake's devices. Like digital ghosts trying to erase him. One night, as Jake sifted through encrypted emails, a chilling message appeared on his screen: "Stop digging, or you'll never wake up again." Jake's hands trembled as he read the ominous message glowing on his laptop. The warning wasn't just a threat, it was a promise. Raj leaned over his shoulder. "They're using advanced AI algorithms to track us. Every click, every keystroke, we're being watched." Maya frowned. "We need to move our operations offline. Secure locations, analog communications." Elena nodded. "But even then, the deeper layers of this conspiracy have eyes everywhere. The question is, how deep does it go?" While investigating a data leak, Jake stumbled upon a name buried within encrypted files: Dr. Evelyn Cross. His breath caught. Evelyn was Lisa's mentor, a renowned neuroscientist who had disappeared years ago under mysterious circumstances. Determined to find answers, Jake arranged to meet Lisa. Do you know anything about Dr. Cross? Jake asked. Lisa's face paled. She was obsessed with unlocking the brain's secrets. Some say she crossed ethical lines, others say she discovered something dangerous. Lisa revealed old journals she had kept from her time working with Evelyn. One entry read, "They want to weaponize the mind. Dreams are no longer safe. I fear what's coming." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Suddenly, a knock on the door shattered the quiet. Jake tensed as Lisa opened the door slowly. A tall figure stood silhouetted against the dim hallway light, a woman with sharp eyes and a calm but intense presence. "I'm Elena," she said quietly. "I came as soon as I heard you had Dr. Cross's journals." Lisa nodded cautiously. "We don't know if she's still alive or what happened to her." Elena stepped inside. "What if I told you she's closer than you think, and that her work might be the key to stopping the Dream Wardens?" Elena pulled out a small flash drive from her coat. "This contains data Dr. Cross secretly compiled before she vanished. Experiments, neural maps, and a prototype device meant to protect dreams." Jake plugged it into his laptop, eyes wide as files loaded, some blurry photos, others detailed schematics of a helmet-like device designed to block dream manipulation. "This is what we need," Maya said. "If we can replicate this, we can fight back." Raj got to work immediately, assembling a crude prototype from the schematics. "Technology this advanced shouldn't exist," he muttered. "But here it is, in black and white." Jake tried on the bulky headset. It hummed softly, sending gentle pulses through his skull. "That's it," Elena smiled. "A shield for your mind." But as Jake closed his eyes to test it, a dark whisper echoed, "You cannot hide forever." Jake lay down, the dream shield snug on his head. As sleep took him, he felt the usual pull of the Dream Wardens, but this time it was weaker, muffled. In the dreamscape, he found himself in a bright forest, a sharp contrast to previous nightmares. "Stay focused," Elena's voice echoed in his mind. "The shield filters their influence." Suddenly, shadows lurked at the forest's edge. Jake stood firm, feeling the shield's protective hum. As the shadows advanced, a figure stepped forward, a dream entity glowing with soft light. "I am Solace," the figure said. "A guardian born from the collective hope of sleepers. We've been waiting for you." Jake blinked. "You're on my side?" Solace nodded. "The fight isn't just against the Wardens but for the soul of humanity." Back in waking life, Maya and Raj uncovered new files in Dr. Cross's data, references to the Nexus, a hidden facility where dreams are harvested en masse. "We have to get in," Maya said. "Destroy their core." Elena frowned. "It's heavily guarded, both physically and psychically." Jake clenched his fists. "Then we'll find a way." The group plotted their infiltration meticulously. Raj hacked into city blueprints to locate entrances, Maya studied neural security measures, Elena mapped patrol patterns. Jake volunteered for the mission. "I'm the target. I have the shield and the connection to the dream world." Lisa handed him a small vial. "This will help stabilize your mind during extended exposure." On the night of the mission, Jake's heart thundered as he approached the Nexus's outskirts. The building towered ominously, lit by cold neon. Inside, corridors twisted like a nightmare labyrinth, alarms whispering in his ears. He slipped on the dream shield, steeling himself. "This ends tonight." Jake crouched behind a stack of crates in the shadowed loading bay of the Nexus. The cold metal of the vial pressed against his palm, a reminder of both hope and danger. Every breath he took felt heavier, as if the building itself was alive and watching. Raja's voice crackled softly through his earpiece. "You're clear for another 10 minutes. Cameras are looping feed." Jake nodded, though Lisa and the others couldn't see him. The corridors ahead stretched endlessly, flickering with harsh fluorescent light. The air smelled sterile but held an undercurrent of something metallic, fear, perhaps. As Jake advanced, footsteps echoed down a side hall. He froze, pressing his back against the wall. 2 guards passed, talking in low voices about the recent sleeper disturbances and a new prototype. Jake's heart thundered, but he kept still, willing his mind to stay calm. The dream shield pulsed faintly, a quiet thrum of resistance against unseen forces. Suddenly, a soft whisper brushed his ear, barely audible over the hum of fluorescent bulbs, "You don't belong here." He spun around, but the hall was empty. The shadows stretched long and twisted, as if the building itself breathed. Guided by Elena's voice in his ear, Jake finally reached the inner sanctum. A vast chamber lined with consoles and sleeping pods, where dozens of people lay hooked to cables, their minds harvested. Maya's voice filtered through the comms, "This is worse than we thought. They're using real humans as dream batteries." Jake's stomach churned. He edged closer to a console and found a control panel labeled Oneironaut Interface. He began downloading data when an alarm blared. "They found you!" Raj yelled. The room flooded with harsh red light. Guards poured in. With no time to lose, Jake yanked a pod open, freeing a pale woman with closed eyes. "Wake up," he hissed. She gasped and blinked rapidly. "Thank you," she whispered. Back in the safety of a hidden room, the woman, whose name was Ava, revealed her story. "They took me when I was just a kid," Ava said, voice trembling. "Trapped in this endless cycle of forced dreams, controlled and monitored." Elena placed a comforting hand on Ava's shoulder. "You're safe now. But there are many more like you." Jake clenched his fists. "We need to expose this, every detail." Ava nodded. "The Dream Wardens won't stop until everyone is under their control." As Ava's eyes hardened with resolve, Jake felt the weight of their mission settle on him like a second skin. After Ava's rescue, the group gathered in a secure safe house, a cramped apartment filled with flickering monitors and scattered papers. The reality of the conspiracy pressed down on them. Maya studied a holographic map of neural connections. The Dream Wardens aren't just a small faction, they're an entire network embedded in governments, corporations, even entertainment industries. Raj added, "They use mass media to plant subconscious cues during waking hours, preparing the mind to accept manipulations during sleep." Jake's phone buzzed again. A message appeared. "They're watching your every move. Be careful who you trust." The team exchanged worried glances. Paranoia was setting in, but they knew retreat was not an option. Determined to strike back, Jake proposed hacking into the Dream Warden's central server, a fortress of encrypted data rumored to contain the master controls for the dream manipulation programs. Raj nodded thoughtfully. "It's risky, but it might be the only way to dismantle the network from within." Lisa supplied Jake with a serum designed to sharpen mental clarity and protect the brain during prolonged neural interface exposure. "Take this before the hack," she warned. "It will help you stay grounded." With the serum coursing through his veins, Jake prepared for the neural link. The team set up the interface, a sleek helmet connected to dozens of cables. "Once you're in, your mind will be vulnerable," Elena cautioned. "The Wardens will try everything to trap you." Jake closed his eyes as the helmet powered on. The room dissolved into a swirl of colors, and he plunged into the neural maze. A digital dreamscape where data flowed like rivers and security programs took the form of monstrous sentinels. He moved cautiously, memories and fears threatening to overwhelm him. Inside the neural maze, Jake's senses were heightened but disoriented. Towering sentinels of data lurked in the shadows, firewalls manifesting as giant armored beasts, their eyes glowing with encrypted code. A sentinel lunged at him. Jake dodged, his movements guided by Maya and Raj's whispers through his earpiece. "Find the control node," Raj urged. "It's the core of the system." Jake sprinted through twisting corridors of light and darkness, fragments of memories flashing, some his own, others planted by the wardens to confuse him. One fragment showed his own face, distorted and hollow. "You're mine now," a voice taunted. Gritting his teeth, Jake focused on the shield's hum, pushing back the invading illusions. At last, Jake reached the core node. A pulsating orb of pure data surrounded by layers of digital barriers. He knelt, placing his hand on the orb. His mind flooded with information, streams of control commands, dream schedules, behavioral algorithms. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he began to upload a virus Maya had crafted to disrupt the system. Alarms blared inside the neural maze, sentinels closing in. Almost there, Jake panted. Just a few more seconds. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through Jake's mind. The virus had triggered a counterattack. "Jake! You need to disconnect now," Elena shouted. As Jake struggled to pull away, a shadowy figure materialized inside the maze, an avatar of a dream warden. "Foolish mortal," it hissed. "You think you can destroy us?" In the physical world, Jake's body convulsed. Raj and Maya worked frantically to stabilize the neural link. Just as the warden lunged, Jake tore off the helmet, gasping for air. But the damage was done. His mind felt invaded, and a new message blinked on his phone. "You've been marked." Jake stared at the glowing message, "You've been marked." A cold dread settled over him. Lisa paced the room, her face pale. "That means they've implanted a tracking signal inside your neural pathways. They'll know your location, your thoughts, everything." Maya frowned, scanning data on her laptop. "Removing it won't be easy. It's intertwined with your own neural signals." Raj clenched his fists. "We need to move fast before they come for him." That night, alarms blared. The team barely had time to react as masked operatives stormed the safe house. Gunfire shattered windows. Elena shouted orders, directing everyone to escape through hidden tunnels. Jake's heart hammered as he sprinted alongside Ava, clutching the dream shield tightly. Outside, dark figures swarmed the perimeter. The hunt had begun. Section 34, A Narrow Escape. Emerging into the cold night air, Jake and the group scattered into the maze of alleys. Breathing heavily, Jake turned to see a figure pursuing him, a dream warden operative, face obscured, moving with unnatural speed. The dream shield's hum grew louder, as if warning him. Jake dashed into a crowded street, weaving through pedestrians, desperate to lose his pursuer. Behind him, footsteps thundered. Jake ran until his lungs burned, ducking into a crumbling subway tunnel lit only by flickering emergency lights. His pursuer was gone, for now. But something was off. The tunnel began to twist. The walls shimmered. A poster melted into liquid static. Jake's heartbeat slowed unnaturally. "No," he whispered. "It's a trap." He wasn't awake anymore. Somewhere, somehow, they had pulled him into a forced dream state, a weaponized hallucination while conscious. Whispers crept in, voices of his childhood, regrets, fears, none of them real. He looked down and saw blood on his hands that hadn't been there before. From the darkness, a figure emerged. Himself, but older, hollow-eyed. "Give in," the double said. "You can't run forever. You're already inside." Jake closed his eyes, focused on his breathing. The dream shield was still strapped to his body in the real world. He pictured it glowing. A crack tore through the illusion like lightning. And Jake screamed as he was hurled back into consciousness, gasping. Back in the shadows of a distant hideout, Lisa scanned Jake's brain with trembling hands. "You were dragged into a parasitic illusion, even while awake. That's how strong the mark has become," she said, voice tight. You're not safe anywhere now. Jake stared at his reflection, eyes sunken, skin pale, thoughts scattered. Then we finish it, he murmured. No more running. Maya sat beside him. We've found something. A final node buried in the dream stream, deeper than the Nexus. A place called the Hollow. Raj added grimly, it's where the Wardens keep the source code. Jake turned toward the team. Then that's where we go. No matter what it takes. It took 2 weeks of preparation. They built a reinforced dream interface, upgraded the dream shield with cortical reinforcements, and loaded the virus, Maya's final version, into Jake's neural drive. At dusk, in an abandoned cathedral, they began the ritual. Once you enter the Hollow, Lisa said, there's no waking until it's done, or you're gone. Jake nodded and lay down on the metal slab. The world faded, and with it, all sound. He opened his eyes in blackness. He was falling. Endlessly. And then, a whisper. Welcome, dream thief. Jake stood alone in a vast, echoing void. It wasn't just dark, it was absence. No walls, no sky, only shifting currents of thought, fear, and memory. The Hollow wasn't a place. It was consciousness undone. And then he saw it. A towering construct of light and shadow hovered before him, a neural lattice pulsing with energy. Inside, flickering like a trapped flame, was something that felt alive. The source code. From the shadows, dream wardens emerged, their forms writhing, shifting between human faces and abstract horrors. One stepped forward. Its voice was cold and ancient. You could have joined us, Jake. You were born from the stream. A perfect vessel. Jake took a slow breath, steadying his thoughts. I'm not your vessel, he said. I'm your virus. He stepped forward, activating the neural spike within his dream shield. The code pulsed from his mind, unraveling patterns in the Hollow like a spreading flame. The wardens shrieked. The Hollow quaked. The neural lattice cracked, splintering into shards of color and data. Wardens dissolved into static, screaming as the infection spread. Jake felt it too, the collapse, not just of the warden system, but of his own self. Memories flooded him, dreams real and false, planted thoughts, rewritten fears. He didn't know what was truly his anymore. Jake! Lisa's voice echoed faintly, somewhere distant. You have to come back. The interface is failing. He dropped to his knees, light consuming everything. If he uploaded the final virus command, he might destroy it all, but he might not survive. Then he saw them, Ava, Maya, Raj, even Elena. Dream figures, like echoes of what they had fought for. He smiled. This is for the dreamers. And he released the code. Jake opened his eyes to silence. The cathedral was still. Smoke rose from the interface machine. Lisa hovered above him, tears in her eyes. You did it, she whispered. Around them, the world was already changing. Reports were flooding news networks, leaked documents, awakening dreamers across the globe, wardens losing control. The dream stream collapsed, people reclaiming their sleep, their minds, their freedom. Later, Jake stood alone beneath a quiet night sky, stars winking above. For the first time in years, he didn't fear closing his eyes. Because now, he could dream on his own terms. The end. They tried to control our dreams. But we turned them into a weapon.